Sorry about the audio quality. We tried AI captioning and then we had to go back and fix it. So that's why the captions might look a little weird. Hello, Intactivists. Today I am with Marilyn Milos, aka the mother of Intactivism. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you today?
I am fantastic.
Good.
So, Marilyn, what are you up to nowadays?
I'm bumping into things. I've become an old lady. I started doing this work when I was 39 years old. I witnessed a circumcision as a nursing student and was horrified about what I saw. Couldn't believe what I had seen. And of course, I began to do research. And not only that, I began to cry as the guy who comforts the baby as I watched him struggling against his restraint as he was strapped for a point to a plastic board, molded board to hold him. And well, I haven't stopped talking ever since that moment. So the joy now is that more and more people are talking about this. I'm no longer, the first thing is kill the messenger. I had to first of all accept that I had allowed that to happen to my babies, that horrible, crucially significant event in their lives when I didn't even know what circumcision was. Nobody explained it to me. It doesn't it only takes a minute and will just put me through life. That's what I was told. So to suddenly be thrown into an incident where I could see what had happened to my babies and what was happening to all babies, I had, having had children and started an alternative school in the 60s in San Francisco for my children because I didn't like the education system at the time. And I knew that I had to do something. And I just began talking. And I'm still 44 years later, and I'm still talking about the same thing. I started as a young woman. Now at 84, almost 84, I'll be 84 in 3 months. Um, I've become a dirty old lady. Still talking about penises. She is. But
Yeah.
whatever it takes to protect those babies, whatever it takes to protect the babies. Baby boys do not need to be strapped down and have the most sensitive part of their body amputated within minutes of their life or hours of their life. That's wrong. It's just intrinsically, morally wrong.
Yeah. So, do you currently work with like any intactivist groups?
Um, I'm on the board of directors of Impact America, and I work with anybody who's doing this work. I'm working with. I think what I'm doing most now, because I'm losing my eyesight, I'm a consultant, because a lot of people don't know what the foreskin is, why that tissue is there. Like the eyelid, it covers our eyeball and blinks every so often to keep the eyeball moist and sensitive and protected. And foreskin does the same thing for a male. But not only that, not only does it provide protection, it also provides pleasure and procreation, and pleasure that leads to procreation and survival of the species. So we must not overlook this precious piece of tissue that is so gleefully amputated by those who don't aren't have no idea what they're doing to the life of a male when they do that.
Okay. So, um,
Is that more than you wanted to hear?
oh no, you're doing good. Yeah, so you're still in the intactivist movement though as a consultant. And
Always, always. How knowing what you know, the wrongness that's being done to our babies, and the harm that it brings. How could you ever stop doing that? You know what I mean? There's no way. Once you get it, you get it, and you can't stop talking about it or stop trying to end a needless surgery. Circumcision persists for these reasons. Personal denial. What man wants to admit the horror of what was inflicted upon him? Cultural conditioning. We're conditioned to think that this is an okay thing to do. Religious indoctrination. We affiliate ourselves with a religion that thinks that this is God's will. Not my God. I don't know about your God, but I wonder what Allah and Yahweh have to say to one another. Anyway, medical deception and then financial incentive. And the financial incentive is a big thing. Who's promoting circumcision? Georgianne Schaefer of Impact America, the woman who has adopted my organization and is leading it now, did a survey And they found it was the nurses and the doctors that are pushing for it. It's not the parents; they don't know anything. But the nurses and doctors, that's financial incentive. And I was fired from my job. They were telling parents the truth about circumcision, what would happen to them, and what would happen to their babies if they were circumcised. So uh, there is a huge financial incentive for medical default at its worst because who are the victims? Those babies who have no way of protecting themselves. They can't consent, and they certainly can't resist. They do everything they can to scream and holler and say no, 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 and nobody is listening. Nobody is listening. No, more and more people are. That's the good news.
Yeah. So, Marilyn, how has intactivism changed throughout the years? Did you think it changed for the better, or do you think that it's gotten like worse in your
Well,
experience?
oh, in my experience, no, no, no. People say, oh, what? We would never do that to our baby. People are getting it. We're looking at human rights from many different avenues now. And I think that, well, circumcision is one of them. This is a human right. That body belongs to that baby. Do we have a right to cut off normal, healthy, sexually functioning tissue off of the newborn baby's body? Or does that body belong to that baby? Well, what would you say?
Yeah. So you're saying it's getting better though. So intactivism is improving and
Oh,
getting better.
absolutely, absolutely. And we're about 50-50 now. It's come up. Listen, I've been doing this for 44 years. Can you believe that? 44 years. I got old. I told you I became a dirty old age. I'm still talking about penises at this age. Jeez. Uh, but but it is getting better. People are listening and people are recognizing that that body belongs to them. As parents, our job is not to determine what normal body parts we need to cut off of our babies, but to protect our babies' bodies until they are old enough to protect and defend themselves. That's our only job, to provide for them love and peace and joyfulness in their lives. That's the way we'll have a better world, not by causing pain and trauma and mutilation in the earliest days of life.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm just really interested in Intact America for as of right now because it's kind of like a lot of my viewers have questions about Intact America that almost never get answered. And since you're a board member of Intact America, would you
Well,
mind
then they should
answering?
tell them to write to me then. Tell them if they, because we tried, but Impact America is inundated every day by thousands of requests for information and so forth. So with it's a great website, and if they have individual questions that they want answered, I am a consultant. Have them contact me. I'll be happy to do that.
Oh,
Anyone
okay. Awesome.
anyone who contacts you and doesn't know how to get help or hasn't gotten help from Impact America, contact me. I'm part of Impact America and I will help you.
Okay. So I have a few questions from some people. Like, for instance, is Intact America, like, who are they teaming up with? Because we've seen, like, the Cis Society have mentioned that they kind of collaborate with Intact America. And there's also the Naked Man podcast, which some people are saying that Intact America hired and started the Naked Man podcast. Is any of this true?
I don't know about the first. What was the first one that you mentioned? I didn't.
Oh, CIS, which stands for sensuality, intimacy, and sexuality. Pleasure is our power movement.
I've not heard of them, and I don't know that Georgianne has either. If you want to know more, contact me directly, and I will. Georgianne has got a huge amount of work on her table, so I do what I can. So contact me, and I will do my best to research what's going on and to get you answers that you'll be satisfied with.
Okay, okay. Awesome. So, okay, but can you at least explain like all the campaigns that Intact America is doing as of right now?
Well, basically, Impact America is working on a larger scale than any of us have. But the idea was the first thing was to do a focal study to determine who is pushing circumcision, and that came out that it's the doctors and the nurses who are pushing it. Not the parents. They don't know one way or another. And if you give them a little bit of information, if you show them a circumcision film, they're going to say no. But remember, I was fired from the hospital for showing for my film on circumcision. So yeah, we were fired for telling the truth about circumcision. So it's not easy because there is this financial incentive, and then all the other things. What man wants to admit he's done anything wrong? Just think of the blood that those doctors, those circumcisers have on their hands. How, how do they ever explain that to anybody?
Yeah. No, that's a good point. What are some of the ways to overcome these obstacles?
Talk, keep on talking. Well, I think one of the things that really helps is we made a video. I told you I was fired from my job for making that video, but we got it and we got it on film. And there are more now, and lots of wonderful information coming out. If people would just contact me, ask why is the foreskin there? Like the eyelid is there to cover and protect the eyeball. The foreskin is there to cover and protect the urinary opening and the underlying structures, so that it remains soft and moist for for protection and for personal pleasure and for procreation. Not so hard to understand that, is it?
Yeah. Also, where can people contact you at? Like, do you have like what are your social medias?
Well, go to Marilyn Milos at gaamerica.org, and I answer each and every email that comes my way. That's really what I do there because I am going. My eyesight is getting bad, but if I can, I have a magnifying glass to read my screen, and I do, and then I begin typing in large letters. So if they don't need it, but I do, so I put it in large letters, and they'll get it back. Um, I will answer each and every email that comes my way.
Okay. But the only way to contact you is through email. Like you don't have
Well,
any of
yeah,
these fancy social medias that most people have.
honey, I'm 84. I'm on the way out. I'm not coming up into that life. I don't do that. But I have a phone number. It's 415-488-9883. People can call me or email me. Those are the two ways to get to me.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you're okay with my viewers calling you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. That is amazing. No one's ever done that before, so that is
415-488-9883.
awesome. So, if you could improve on the intactivist movement as of right now, like what would you change or improve on?
One of the things I've learned over all these years, 44 years was, I thought, I, first of all, I thought after I saw it and witnessed the power of what circumcision is and what that child was suffering, by then, by the way, I need to say this stuff. By the time I witnessed the circumcision, and I had to accept the fact that had happened to my babies. I had been told it doesn't hurt, it only takes a minute and it will take them throughout life, and I thought it was a good thing. When I witnessed it, I knew that I had been lied to. So number one is how do you deal with the medical doctor who lied to you? How do you deal with that? The people that you trusted with your medical services were not honest. That was the first threat to my beingness, to my concept of what medical doctors were and who they were and how they did it. Now, there are certainly a lot of ethical medical doctors that some people say, no, I've never performed a circumcision. They wouldn't. But the circumcisionists are another breed. And, I didn't expect any of that. I don't know. I don't think I've answered this question because I forgot what it was by now. But anyway, I'm doing the best I can here. This is what happens when you're almost 84.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Marilyn. So, we are actually running out of time. So, if you had to leave our viewers off with one thing from this interview, what would it be?
In order to have a more peaceful world, where we have to start at is to begin with how we bring babies into the world. That's a very precious time. The first hour between mother and baby is absolutely precious. They need to fall in love. And that hour gives us, to every child, a good basis for a beginning. After that, we need to honor and trust our children and protect them. Our job is to protect our children, not to reform their bodies with mutilating, painful, excruciating procedures. We need to protect them until they're old enough to protect themselves and make their own choices about their own bodies. The foreskin, it has protective qualities, has pleasurable qualities, and has procreative qualities. You don't mess with Mother Nature. She knew best. She made our genitals feel better than just our lips or our eyelids, because in order to recreate ourselves, to procreate, and for survival of the species, one thing was necessary, and Mother Nature saw to it that we had all the equipment to make that happen. Circumcision intervened with that method.
Oh, also, before I let you go, yeah, you have a new book coming out, don't you? Or a
I
couple new
do.
books?
Yeah, well, I have a new book, and Georgianne Chapin, who heads Impact America, the organization that accepted my organization into it. So we merged organizations, and yeah, and oh, gee, I've just forgotten what you asked me. What did you say?
Oh, no, it's okay. So
No, no,
you
tell
have
me
an
again.
you have a new book coming out,
Oh
or
yeah,
is it
okay,
already
okay.
out?
So
Yeah.
we each have books. Thank you. My book is called "Please Don't Cut the Baby," a nurse's memoir, and Georgianne's is called "This Penis Book," because she talked. Well, I talk about what it was like to witness a circumcision and the horror of what a baby endures during the procedure for 15 minutes screaming, in pain and terror and agony. My book talks about that. And she talks about who's at fault, who is leading this. And she attacks the medical professionals who are doing it. It's a brilliant book, and everyone should read. But these two books are really important books. They'll be out in February, because that's after Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and hopefully we'll start a new year with a couple of new books that will shed light onto the issue, which is protecting baby boys and their rights to their bodies until they're old enough to make personal decisions about what parts they want to build.
All right. So if my viewers wanted to go buy this book, where would they go and get the book from?
Amazon is advertising it now.
Okay, on Amazon?
Exactly. With the names of the books. Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Marilyn Milos, for your time. I
You're
definitely
very
appreciate it.
welcome. You're very welcome, sweetheart, and thank you for addressing this important human rights issue.
Yeah, definitely. That was Marilyn Milos. I'll have her books and Georgianne's book linked down in the description below so you can buy them if you want. Please give this a like and share it if you enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me and Marilyn Milos. I hope you guys have a great one. Bye.